Good morning and welcome to Monday. I'm Joe Jaquin, CEO of the Patriot Trading Group, and I hope you had a wonderful, fantastic Thanksgiving holiday, even though everybody told us don't go out. Only have Thanksgiving with your immediate family members and all of those other things. It was a very different Thanksgiving for us. My wife was extremely depressed as our older son was, I'll use the word ordered, because that's really what happened, to stay in quarantine in Illinois as COVID had found its way through the football team up there where he goes to school, and a couple of his roommates, even though he was negative. So it was so bad. It was so bad that on Black Friday, and again, I didn't think my wife would necessarily be out and about, but she has been, if you think about if there was ever a day meant for my wife, it was Black Friday. Ever since we've been together. We've been married now for over 21. We're going to be 22 years here, May of next year. Every year, she was out there early. And it was so funny as it got earlier. It used to be Black Friday started, the morning after Thanksgiving. And then somehow, lately, Black Friday started on Thanksgiving. But she'd be out there. Especially when the kids were young, she'd be in line and doing all that stuff and spending all kinds of money, helping the economy. She didn't buy a thing, even online. And it's not like, listen, Amazon knows where I live. But I was able to snap her out of it by the weekend. She bought a few Christmas gifts, but it just was weird when we went. Our other son, who's a senior in high school, we went and played golf Thanksgiving morning. And who knows, maybe that'll be a new thing for us. It was a sad day for me. I wouldn't say I'm a great golfer, because I'm not, but I'm not horrible at the game. My son, for the very first time, outdrove me. He started hitting some bombs that I could not match. So I was very excited at the same time going, oh, this is it. This is how it ends, right? I'm 50 now. It's all downhill. I need to get that old man game where it's not about how far. It's just how accurate, and how I got to work on the chipping game so I can one-putt everything. But it was just weird. Weird weekend. How about Mike Tyson? Right? Actually watched that. And it's so funny is the people that were there watching it with us, we all kind of felt the same way. We just wanted something like nostalgic. Like Mike Tyson when we were growing up. Everybody, it was must-see TV. Like, how fast was he going to knock out this guy or that guy? And they hyped it all up, and we wanted a little bit of normalcy. And even that one, it was great. It was. I mean, they're old. Him and Roy Jones Jr., I mean, they're old. And the internet, made them look like they were in fantastic shape. For being in their 50s, they're in way better shape than me. And even though the rounds were only a couple minutes, dude, I don't even think I could have made it through one round before I started hyperventilating. But I don't know. It was kind of odd. No fans there, right? The whole thing, you're just reminded of it all. And then I saw they're saying that Black Friday traffic was down 50-something% in the stores and all kinds of. It was weird weekend in Phoenix. A lot of restaurants announced they're closing for good. Even here, where we're not on the full-blown lockdown, at least not yet. So it was kind of just a weird weekend all together. I mean, we got gold under pressure, silver under pressure, nothing more than a fantastic buying opportunity. Matter of fact, I'll go over the last time. When gold has these patterns when it breaks all-time highs, and this is what all these algorithms do and all this stuff. I mean, because believe it or not, the dollar's actually lower again, 91.50 on the dollar. So, again, I'll tell you, this is a great buying opportunity. I didn't think we'd ever see these prices again. A $20 gold piece today, just under $2,000, but there's not. The problem is there's nothing out there. That's the big problem. But we'll go over all of that. A shout out to the Rough Riders. I got an email from one of our listeners up there in Johnstown. The Rough Riders are in the state finals for football up there, so good luck to those young men. The semifinals are going on here in the Valley this Friday night. My son's team, Brooke, her son's team, they play on the same team. They're going to have a semifinal matchup, and good luck to all the athletes, and hopefully the games are going to be played. Did you see the Broncos had to play? Did you see this nonsense? All of their quarterbacks, one of them got COVID. None of them could play. They had a practice squad wide receiver have to play quarterback. Everyone's lost their minds. Patriot Radio News Hour. Last day of November, thankfully. We'll be back right after the break. 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour, allamericangold.com. Joe Jaquid here again, and the last day of November. The diet starts today. Oh, so not looking for. So this morning, I had the lemon juice and the celery juice. And for lunch, I'll be having a fruit smoothie because all as I did the whole time. So, we were closed Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I just ate pretty much the entire weekend. It was a nonstop. We had the leftovers. You got to eat them before they go bad. So my wife's got me on restriction. I actually told the girls already, hey, listen, limit your time in the bathroom because, yeah, I may be in there a lot more often. We only have the one here, so you now that we got four of us in here on a daily basis, it gets a little crowded. It's like traffic control. We need a bathroom schedule or something. But nonetheless, I'm going to suck it up. And I lost a bunch of weight. Then I got COVID, lost more weight. Then I put it back on. You know the drill. So I'm going to be walking circles around the Deer Valley Air Park again as I try to get ready for Christmas. Because all I'm going to do is I'm going to lose some weight and then put it right back on during Christmas. But anyway, that's what's going on in my neck of the woods. I got to be retrained. Haven't been on the air, like I said, since Wednesday. All kinds of crazy stuff going on. It's confirmed Joe Biden announced his economic team officially. I guess, officially. We already kind of knew. Janet Yellen is going to be the new Treasury Secretary. And very interesting. She was out on Twitter already making comments about how, we need to bring back the American dream. Obviously not saying make America great again, but it was very, very interesting. And I'll just read you if I can find it again. It looks like, I don't know, maybe they took it down. Wow, that was quick. Oh, here it is. This was Janet Yellen after Joe Biden confirmed this morning she is going to be the new Treasury Secretary. And again, this is twofold. This guarantees the digital dollar. It's happening. And I know you're like, oh, well, why did gold fall? This is why. This is why. It's not about vaccines. I mean, it's a good story. Oh, yeah, everyone's going to be vaccinated and we're going to be rid of this coronavirus by the end of the year. Well, the end of next year. Which is great. The problem that we have is we have these massive structural deficits, and we've got bubbles created by bankers, period. That's why gold's rising. And they want to try to say, oh, now that Janet Yellen's going to be the Treasury Secretary, somehow this is going to make life better. No. That's the illusion part. And, of course, this is where all the big money comes in and buys it all up. But let me read you her tweet today. Apparently now, this is how everyone communicates. Yeah, I guess another thing that we won't give Donald Trump any credit on is now everyone goes to Twitter. And here was Janet Yellen this morning. Now think about this. Stocks are near all-time record highs. I mean, if you only looked at the stock market, you would think we're still in the greatest economy ever. And it's so funny, even with Trump, we really had GDP of about 2%. I mean, he got it to 3 once. It was about 2%. And now we have, 800,000 people a week filing for unemployment claims for 9 straight months in a row. 30 million people not paying their rent or their mortgages and businesses shutting down in droves. But it appears to be wonderful. Yet, don't buy any gold because it's great. We face great challenges as a country right now. And again, where's the bubble? Was the bubble in gold? Right? Was gold in a bubble? I mean, it got to $2,100, and right now it's $1,775. Doesn't feel like a bubble, right? Does it feel like a bubble? No, matter of fact, everybody I know will tell you how undervalued it is. Where's the bubble? Where's the great challenges as the country faces? It's not on Wall Street. It's not in the bond market. It's not in the housing market. Oh, wait, that's where the bubbles are. To recover, she says, we must restore the American dream. What dream is she talking about? Freedom, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, right? The 2.4 kids in the white picket fence. And I don't think 2.4 is accurate anymore. Maybe down to like 1.9. I don't know. Right? Here's the new American dream, Janet. The kids never left. Right? That's the problem. To recover, we must restore the American dream. A society where each person can rise to their potential and dream even bigger for their children. Dream. You can dream of it. She's right about that. But that's about all you're going to do is dream. You don't have your gold and silver put away. Believe me, that's all you'll be doing. To rise to their potential, she said. Those are the worst words ever as a former basketball coach. The worst thing, this kid's got potential. That was always the worst one because that was the guy, right? That was a fancy word for underachiever, right? He's got potential. As Treasury Secretary, I will work every day towards rebuilding that dream for all. And there lies the problem. We don't need your help, Janet. We don't need the government to help us rise to our potential. We don't need the government to dream bigger for our children. See, that used to happen automatically in America. It did. Since its inception, children lived better than their parents. Decade after decade, generation after generation. That's how it was. We didn't need the government. We didn't want the government. See, and really what happened was the bankers took over the government. We're going to learn the lesson. And of course, now more than ever, as we take a former federal head of the Federal Reserve and plop her in as the Treasury Secretary. This is the final blow for the bankers. And before they're done, they'll have wiped us all out. And we'll go back. See, this is the great thing, I think, about America. Failure can lead to better things. It can. Unfortunately, we've gone through this period where we've decided to reward failure, haven't we? And mostly because the bankers want to save themselves. Oh no, we're not the ones that ruined it all. But we'll learn it. And we'll go back to those racist white males that founded this country. And we'll take heed and say, that's where we went wrong. Right? Don't let the bankers be in charge. Because they're going to do what they always do. Put everybody in debt and make the currency worthless. That's what happens. Not because I want it to. Not because I'm trying to scare somebody. I always hate that. Now if you educate somebody on the facts, it's like, right, the Facebook fact checkers. Listen, if we're relying on those people to tell you what the facts are, right, we have truly entered idiocracy where we're all now dumber for having listened. And Janet Yellen wants you all to know the government's there to help you all out. That's right. And somehow, because of that, we're going to, quote unquote, restore the American dream. See, the American dream was never reward failure. That was not the American dream. The American dream was you could fail, pick yourself back up, dust yourself back, dust yourself off, learn from your mistakes, and be better the next time. Right? The pursuit of happiness. I'm going to tell you right now, whether we like it or not, and I know it, I get emails, Donald Trump's going to be president still, and this bombshell's coming, that bombshell. Listen, probably not. Probably not, right? And it didn't matter. I'd love it. It'd be great. Of course, every city in the country would be on fire. But it didn't even matter, even during the Trump administration, as he tried a lot to get government, think about regulations and things of that nature, but mostly targeted stuff in the banking industry. But we're going to go through, and let's hope it's only 4 years, where the government becomes the main provider for the majority of Americans. You know, to this day, I still can't believe the power that they were able to control us with and still do. I mean, think of all the LA's closed. Vegas. I will say this. So I had a friend who just got back from Vegas. Just got back. So he went last week and said how terrible it was. It was just awful. Nobody there. Plexiglass everywhere, right? All of these things. And my heart bleeds and breaks. But this is the lesson. We got to learn the lesson. We're going to learn it. It's going to be painful. But if you have some gold and silver, you'll come out the other side. 800-951-0592. Apparently, Janet Yellen scared the crap out of Wall Street. It's down 450 points right now. Gold, which has been getting clobbered here for the last couple of weeks, is mounting a comeback all of a sudden. Still down for the day, but 1781 now on silver or on gold. Silver at $22 and almost $22.50. Silver Eagles are available. I had Brooke check this morning. $570 a roll on Silver Eagles, and I think we got the highest we were at. We were at $630 a roll. Now the highest, remember, I think they got to like $800 back when we weren't selling them at all. Remember, they were $10 and $12 over spot. But again, remember, the mint is now done. They're only going to be getting ready for the 2021s. I'm shocked that they've lasted this long, which just tells you how much inventory they had been holding back in the market, trying to get the $10 over spot price. But put them away. I think this is an all-out buy. Silver got to $21 and change. I don't know that it's got any more room left to go there for $570. We do have Silver Eagles in stock in Phoenix and Colorado if you want to take advantage of that at 800-951-0592. Gold. Let's talk about gold. And so we're sitting there, we're watching it, and we know that this makes no sense. Have we stopped spending trillions of dollars? No. Are interest rates rising anytime soon? Like, at all? Like, in the next 2, 3, 4 years? I know. The central bank must be winding down all of these purchases. No, just the opposite. Matter of fact, they're talking about, which we know. Of course, I've already told you, listen, they've got to buy more. It's getting worse, not better. Listen, the vaccine, all that's wonderful. Coronavirus was going away in 2021 regardless. Because you know what? I think we're sick of it. People are sick of lockdowns. People are sick of not living. And we're ready to take life for what it is. Every day you wake up, it's a challenge, right? You got to navigate the streets of here. I'm telling you right now, driving in this town, people don't know the rules. See, maybe where you're from, people drive the speed limit. I don't know. Maybe they drive a little below the speed limit. See, here in the valley, right, the speed limit on the freeway That's just a suggestion. If you're actually driving the speed limit, you are endangering people's lives. Everyone drives 20 miles an hour over. Get to the right. That's all I'm saying. There are some out-of-town plates that made driving to work hazardous this morning. You know the one. You know the state I'm talking about, too. It's always that state. Anyway, I forgot what I was talking. Oh, gold. So Silver Eagles, listen, Silver Eagles, and you know I hate silver. Hate it. Why? Because it's bulky and it's heavy. Right? I mean, you think about a case of Silver Eagles right now is $14,250. Okay? And it weighs 42 pounds. And that same amount of space, I could probably put $5 million worth of gold in it. See the difference? But big opportunity today with this pullback. Let's talk about gold. What's happened? I mean, I thought gold was going to be $2,400 by now, and it's going to be. But I went all the way back. When I first started, gold was like $300, and the all-time high at that point was $800, going back to 1981. And gold had only been trading like on Wall Street for 8 years, something like that. I think it was 1973 when it first started trading on Wall Street. Maybe 72. It was $800. And during the quote-unquote financial/housing crisis, gold broke out, took out the all-time high, and ran all the way to 1,050. And you're like, wait a minute, double. No, gold went to 1,900. It did. But when it initially broke the all-time high of 800, it ran about $250. And then, and I don't know, I think Ben Bernanke had taken over and blah, blah, blah. And they were creating quantitative easing and forget about, Wall Street and all that stuff. Kind of like today. Oh, well, that's all this vaccine, we're fixed. No. I mean, COVID was sped up the process. But remember, we were headed down this path anyway. And then gold fell right in the midst of it, kind of like right now, right in the midst of it. Gold fell like $300. Went back below the all-time high. And bottomed out, and it's actually almost back to back to that 700 level before running all the way to 1,900. So you look at this time around, gold breaks the all-time high, which was 1,800 and is it 1880? I think it was the actual close. It may have been actually 1870, but something like that, just below 1,900. Runs to $2,100. Kind of almost that same $250 thing. During the midst of it, falls for we're not sure why. Very interesting again about these levels. We'll finish that up when we return. Now, we never know. History doesn't always repeat itself. But it usually does, and there's always similar patterns. So we went back to when we broke the previous all-time record high of $800. I mean, we're in the throes of it, right? The housing crash, right? Now the financial markets hadn't crashed yet. The gold spikes to 1,050 and then falls all the way back to $700. Kind of 350 points it falls before running to the 1900. I think about gold hits $2,100. 200. So $800, 1,050. It's $250, right? This time around, 1880, 1870, let's call it 1875, 2,100. It's $225. Pretty close. Well, if I subtract 350 from 21, I get 1,750. The low we hit this morning was 1,761. Pretty close. And now it's 1,782. Now, obviously, the day's not over. Who knows? But it's interesting. And then the big move came. And gold doubled. It went from 1,000 to almost 2,000. So is this the move? Is this what we're going to see? Is this what Janet Yellen's going to usher in? Because you got to remember, listen, I know it sounds nice. Everything's going to go back to normal after COVID. No, it's not. It's not. A lot of jobs are gone forever. Retail will never be the same. The days of going to the mall are about over. How about the restaurants? It'll be years. Years and years and years. And my guess, maybe not ever. Maybe it changes forever. The dining pattern. Because, every couple of years they scare us with another one. Right? SARS, bird flu, this one, right? I mean, we're as soon as this one's over, they're going to scare us with another one. But here's what isn't changing. The dependency of the central bank and the government. I mean, you read terrible stories over the weekend of food banks running out of food. Places they don't want to talk. Nobody wants to talk about Las Vegas or San Francisco or L.A. No one wants to talk about Atlantic City and the decimation. I want to act, sweep it under the rug, pretend that it's not happening. Let's talk about how rich Elon Musk is. The guy that sells 0.3% of all the cars in the world, right? I mean, it's nonsense. We have a deficit. And I know that no one likes to be reminded, it's $30 trillion. And really, it's way more than that. What happened this year to the quote-unquote Social Security Trust Fund? Devastating. By all accounts, now it's been higher, but let's just take an average. 20 million plus less people working and paying into Social Security in 1 year. 20 million. 10,000 people a day still retire. The trust fund isn't making it. Of course, there is no trust fund. Not making it to 2030 or 2031. Before this year is over, I will predict that the central bank is going to significantly increase the monetization of the dollar by buying even more debt. Right? We want to pretend that they're not buying $120 billion, but you just want to pretend. going a lot higher. And it'll happen before the end of the year. How long is this moratorium on foreclosures going to go? Right now, it's supposed to end the day after Christmas. That seems to be always what it is. A lot of layoff announcements come around Christmas time, too. I don't know why you think they, but I guess they want to make sure they really ruin your holiday. I don't know. They keep telling us GDP is going to go up. I don't know how. I mean, DoorDash just got another, I don't forget, stupid amount of money. They had just gotten like $15 billion 6 months ago. Now they need another $30 billion. They still don't make any money. But now we've got Janet Yellen. She's coming up as the new Treasury Secretary. I know, and again, assuming Biden is the nominee, which, and like I said, I would love it not to be. I just don't see the courts having the balls to do it, because let's face it, there's plenty of legal precedent for the president. There is. The stuff that a lot of these states allowed and the laws that they changed and all of these other things. And how about the laws they changed and then didn't even follow? I don't. The rule of law is gone, right? The government just shutting us all down, locking us all in our homes, all of it. Same thing. Very interesting setup, though, for the gold market and the silver market. I think silver is an outrageous buy. 800-951-0592. Final segment coming up. (800-951-0592). Dr. Bricks, Fauci's right-hand lady. Any of you that didn't heed their warning for Thanksgiving, you should just assume you have COVID now. Yep, that's what she said today. By the way, holiday travel, 1.2 million people yesterday. That was the largest number since the beginning of COVID. I'm like, ooh, okay. Right? We not to listen. Until I read last year on Sunday after Thanksgiving, 3 million. So air travel still down 60%. And again, this is what I'm saying. We have all of these structural problems. And they're all going to require all the things that we've been telling you about. COVID made them worse. Right? But Social Security was in trouble before COVID. The debt was skyrocketing before COVID. Now, granted, it's way worse now. Obviously. But thinking that the vaccine fixed the problem, not even close. Matter of fact, like I said, in a lot of ways it made it worse. Right? Because I'm hoping in the next week to get a food stamp number, because I'm dying to see what it is. There was an article over the weekend that they were talking about all the gains against the poverty have all been lost now, and all of these things. And again, you can't give handouts. That doesn't end poverty. Never has, never will. And the fact that Janet Yellen is going to be the new Treasury Secretary, if the Biden administration gets into power, should scare the you-know-what out of all of us. Because there's one thing that Janet Yellen is, and that's a bail it out at all cost. That's what she's about. No program is too big. Having the central bank's balance sheet blow up to 15, 20, 25, 30 trillion, she don't care. Because she already knows. They're waiting for the digital currency for the ultimate power. Here's what I hope happens. That we learn when the digital currency comes, and it's going to be brutal. and your wealth. You're never going to feel less wealthy in your life. Is that we learn and we go back and maybe get some form of a gold standard back in play. We start limiting the power of the banks. We break up all of these mega banks. And I just saw today LIBOR. Remember LIBOR and all the cheating the banks were doing? I don't know if you guys remember that or not, but yeah, they were doing all the cheating. That was supposed to come to an end next year in 2021. And we're supposed to get a new system, a better one that prevented all the cheating and the lying and the stealing by the big banks. Federal Reserve came out today. Yeah, never mind that. Nah, we're gonna delay that. Tells you all you need to know. 800-951-0592. $20 gold pieces, $19.95. Silver Eagles, $5.70. Buy the dips from the dips. Patriot Radio News Hour. God bless everybody. I'll be back tomorrow.